Good morning, everybody. We'll be starting in just a minute. Hope everybody's doing great, and I hope everybody had a wonderful weekend. All right. Hope everybody's doing great today. Good morning, everybody. Happy Monday. Happy Monday. Let's give the room a few minutes to fill up. And let me turn on my camera. That would usually help too. There we go. Good morning, everybody. Happy Monday. Happy Monday. Let's give the room a few minutes to fill up. Good morning, Robert, Kevin, Gustavo, Piet Brock, James. Good morning. Good morning. Cheese Grade Trader. Richard. Good morning, Richard. I hope you had a great weekend. Dave, Ivano, Robert, Jeff. Hey, Jeff. Timothy, David, Brian, Javad, Illinois grain farmer. Richard Ray Jr. is in the house. Hey, Junior. Gregory, Jody, Steven. Hey, Steven, I told you not to worry about that. What was that trade? I forgot what it was now. I think it was it hymns? I forgot what it was, but it worked out okay. We made money on that trade. Jesse, Mark, Randy, Sergey, Ricky, Larry, Moondog is in the house. Thank you for the nice email, Moondog. I appreciate it. Very nice of you to send me that nice email today. Yesterday. We got, let me just say hello to everybody and then we'll get started. We got Kirk, Peter. Good morning, Peter. Good morning, Kirk. JB, Eagle Beagle, Devin, Bancroft, Stacy, Deanna, Jill. Good morning. Good morning, Jean. Steven Vertuvian is here. Mr. I made $300,000 plus last week. Vertuvian, very good. Harold, William, good morning. Art, Steven, Scotty, Alexander, Richard from Puente Gorda. Peanuts is in the house. Kathy, Stan, Matt, Charlene, Dave, C. Fazio, Henry, Richard. We got Charlie Clyde, CJ, Kevin, Claude, Rice, Ruth, Wade, Tom, Pat, Bob. Hey, Bob, good morning to you. I hope you had a good weekend, and I hope things will take a good turn back home. Shannon, we got a lot of people here. That's what we got. We got Shannon, we got Kevin, we got John, we got Richard, we got Jaycock fan, we got Bob, we got Chad, Jay, Just Jen, Krish, Mitch, Mike, William, Dave, Rick, Doris, Bill, Debbie, Steve, Sherman, Omar. Good morning, Omar. Good morning, people. Good morning. I hope you guys are doing well. So my weekend was a little bit so Friday I was supposed to get a haircut. I went to the hairdresser's place and I found out that my appointment was an hour later. My mistake, so I left. So no haircut till next Wednesday for me. So don't make fun of my hair. It's going to get a little messy between now and next week. And two, I had the craziest nightmare before I woke up at like 6 in the morning today. It's crazy. I had a nightmare that I'll just tell you about my nightmare before the. So I go buy a stock. It's a $20 stock, and I buy 200 shares. And I see on my computer it says that I spent $1,600. I'm like, wait a minute, what's going on here? So then I go try to sell the stock, and I can't get the platform to give me the entry, and then two of my monitors are shattered, and my quotes are going in and out, and I'm thinking, what the hell is going on here? This is very unprofessional. This is while I'm dreaming, okay? So I'm having this knipshits moment in my dream, and then I finally wake up. I mean, like everything, I couldn't enter the order. The order was wrong. The stock was wrong. The price was wrong. The quote screen was wrong. The technicals was wrong. And then I finally woke up to show you what my world is like. Okay. So let me give you a couple of stocks that I'm looking at on the small cap list. Okay. I know you guys like the small cap list. So today we're looking at ANGH. We're looking at ANGH. We're looking at this stock right here to trade above 78 cents. We're looking for ANGH to trade above 78 cents. Okay, 78 cents. So that way it has to take out this high right here. See how it's breaking the 200? It's got to take that out. And the second stock I'm looking at is SMX. It's this stock right here. And on that stock, we're looking at a high. We're looking for it to go above 350 right here, about 350. Okay. And the profit target would be about 408. And then if it goes above the 50-day, then the next target would be about $5, would be about right here, about 526. Okay. Those are the two. Jill says, I've been dreaming the same thing. Yeah. So a lot of stuff. All right. Thank you, Bob. Thank you for that. So those are the small caps. Again, SMX and ANGH, and please keep me posted if you want me to keep giving you those small caps. It only takes me a few minutes to find them in the morning. It's not like a big deal. It takes me maybe 5-10 minutes to find them. Second of all, VIP room today. Oh boy, I got a treat for you guys for today. Here's the link to the VIP room. Now you're probably asking, what am I going to be talking about today in the VIP room? Well, I'm glad you asked. I'm going to be giving you let me get this for you here. I know you guys like my agenda. We're going to talk about anchored VWAPs. We're going to talk about how institutions use anchored VWAPs, where to anchor your VWAPs, and how to trade pullbacks and pinches using VWAPs. And also give you three. I'll also give you three VWAP stocks. All right, that's happening today in the VIP room. Here's the link for that. You would be out of your freaking mind to miss that. All right. So here's the link for the VIP room, and I already told you what I'm covering. And now let me give you the link to Customer Service Live. Okay. The Cam and Gustavo show at 10 to 1 every single day. Roger, how do you set up your trades? Roger, how do you set up your scanner? Why does your scanner look different than mine? Why does TradingView not have 60-minute day? Blah, 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 blah. Go to Customer Service Live. They're the place to get all answers to that, okay? All right, now, I'm here to give you gifts. Gifts. Here's a link for the biggest earnings trades this week. There we go. That's the earnings, the biggest earnings players this week. You could see today we don't have anything huge, but we still have some upgrades and downgrades. But tomorrow, the floodgates open up. You've got a lot of stuff, including Visa, PayPal, Merck, United Health, Starbucks, Boeing, Spotify, Royal Caribbean, Procter & Gamble. I mean, you're talking catalysts from the gazoo. How about Wednesday? Meta, Microsoft, right? These two babies, pretty important, right? Then you got Apple, Amazon, Monster. I mean, this is the week, okay? And I'll start talking about all the major catalysts, obviously here as I do every morning. But you should have that sheet right now. You should have that sheet right now. There it is. You should have that sheet. What is this number next to the ticker? That's the percentage up or down as expected as it's baked into the price. So if you think Carvana is going to move more than 13% up or down, that could be a trade for you. If you think it's going to move way, way less, that you'd be selling straddles versus buying straddles. But this is for folks who trade non-directional trades. So to give you some idea of what the expected move is, as priced in based on implied volatility, which is the most accurate way you're going to gauge any type of movement by implied volatility. Hey, Patrick, aloha to you too. I wouldn't mind being in Hawaii. Also, the next 2 days, my wife has left me. She leaves me once in a while to go to Tampa to visit my daughter. My daughter's moving. She's finishing her college education. She's studying for the LSAT so she can go to law school next year, and my wife is going to be helping her pack. So I am not going to be very busy the next couple of days. If you want to reach out to me, if you want to chit chat, I'm not going to be that busy. I'm going to be home with dogs and cats. I mean, at work and then at home with dogs and cats. But anyway, I wanted you guys to have this, and I'll post it one more time so you guys have it. These are the biggest earnings players. Doesn't mean they're the only earnings players, but these are the ones Wall Street's really going to be looking at in terms of catalysts. And I know how much we like catalysts around here. Okay. US dollar. What's the US dollar doing? Really not doing anything. It's up right now because of the news. It's got a little. The US dollar does not like what we're doing right now with all of this tariff stuff. And that's one of the reasons it's been going down precipitously. Yes, precipitously. But anytime we get a good news on anything relating to tariffs, we tend to jump up, which is positive. But we're still in this consolidated range. Okay. The US dollar going higher could mean slight weakness for the stock market because international folks buy a lot more U.S. stocks when U.S. dollar is going down than when U.S. dollar is going up because U.S. stocks are cheaper, obviously. The bond market's doing absolutely nothing, although I think that will change because we have FOMC beginning. You got consumer confidence. You got JOLTS tomorrow. Oops, excuse me. You've got FOMC on Wednesday. So we're going to have a muted session tomorrow. And you have earnings coming up on Tuesday on a lot of stocks. So we're going to have a muted session ahead of Wednesday's announcement. Not today. Today's Monday. Mondays are usually I treat Mondays like Fridays. I don't usually like to do a lot on Mondays. And if I do, I usually get stuck. Like we got stuck in Palantir last week all the way till Friday. It was a good getting stuck, but we didn't have to sit all week in that stock for nothing. But anyway, so Mondays are not that great for me, and Fridays. I do the majority of my trading Tuesday through Thursdays. But anyways, I still trade on Mondays and Fridays, just not very aggressively. And I'm not looking to get into anything aggressively. I'm only looking for like amazing opportunities Mondays and Fridays. Okay. But you guys already know that. You guys are with me. We're in this together, right? Um, Again, bond market not really doing anything. Notice we're like near these support areas. We are going to have movement, and I don't know which way things are going to go. I'm not going to make any predictions. Gold is coming off a little bit. We're still in this channel, and notice every time we come back to this channel, we pop back up. So similarly to the US dollar coming up, gold coming off. I'm not going to make too many guesses at this point because we haven't really broken this level, and we've been here a few times before. So let me just adjust this actually a little bit better. Here we go. Yeah, that's better. So we're not really outside of the zone just yet. There we go. We're not really outside of the zone just yet. We're still in the zone. I wouldn't be making big bets until this consolidated range is broken. Okay. Till then, I would assume that gold is going to stay steady and not break down. Crude oil. You could expect to see some prices changes this week on crude oil because we have major Fed data, and that will impact petroleum status report. Although we haven't really gone anywhere in quite some time. We've been rather choppy. Okay. Rather choppy, rather really, really choppy here. Not really going anywhere. Bitcoin is remaining elevated, which is a good sign, and we're still above the 8-day EMA. We just need to break above the 9470 area to move higher, but we're building support in this area, and we've been already in this area for, let's see, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, for about 2 weeks. So it's doing a fairly good job of holding on to these levels. Again, I think we're either going to break the 15-day, which is at 9130, or we're going to break the 9461. If we break this level, there's obviously no soup for us. If we start breaking this level, there's going to be a lot of soup for us. Okay? Just FYI. Hey, Vladimir, good to see you. Just see something here. I'm just looking at the bond market real quick. Not really doing much this morning. Went down quite a bit in the last 2 hours. QQQ and markets have also gone down quite a bit in the last few hours. Look at this. So I think it's time for us to become friends with the 8-day EMA. I'm very, very cautious about the QQQ right now because, and I'll talk about that in a few minutes, but I am really cautious about the mega caps, especially tech stocks right now. And I'll explain why in a few minutes. China is still holding on. China is just backing away to the 8-day EMA, but China is still holding on, and China is now in a trend. Now, it is very gappy. Good morning, Wesley, but we're going to be holding on to the fact that we're still above the 8-day EMA. We've been waiting to consolidate here. I would actually still be bullish even if we went to the 8-day, 15-day EMA, excuse me, because it would still put us above this area right here. Once we break this bar right here, 37.69, I would start getting neutral, but I would be bullish while we're still above this area, okay? Hey, Hopium, David, good morning. Wesley, good morning, everybody. Good morning. All right, that's as far as the commodity market. So let me just review real quick. US dollar holding steady. Possibly some more good news if we keep getting good news from the trade deal talks. Commodity bond market very flat, but I'm not expecting the bond market to stay this flat for the foreseeable future. I'm expecting the bond market to make a move. I don't know which way because we have a crap load of data today. I read that hedge funds are ditching mega caps for consumer staples. I don't know about that, Jeremiah. I don't know where you read that. I think they're fairly reasonably well balanced right now. All right, and we could take a look at consumer staples in a minute. Volatility. All right, well, actually, before we get into volatility, let's talk a little bit about the stock market. Let's talk about all the catalysts. Before I begin, can somebody tell me what are the catalysts for today? What are the catalysts for today? Can somebody tell me what are the catalysts for today? Good morning, Robert. Good morning, Eduardo. Had issues signing with the market letters decipher. Very hard to see. Eduardo, if you're having hard time seeing and everybody else, please go right here. Go to the gear and make sure you're watching a 1080p. 1080p. Don't go to auto unless you have a really, really fast landline. Just go to 1080p. I broadcast in 1080p. That way you could see the screen really clearly. And while you're there, if you don't mind, give me a thumbs up. I was looking at these websites the other day. We get like 50% thumbs up. You guys know the average amount of people getting thumbs up is like 5%, 10%. We get like 50% thumbs up. Take a look at most successful website. Their thumbs up versus their viewership is like 5 to 10%. We get 50% thumbs up. I appreciate it, guys. Very, very kind of you. All right. Does anybody have the catalysts? What are the catalysts? We got Moondog. We got Matt. We got Richard. Richard says trade deal, Tesla, definitely. Defense, yes, definitely. And what else does Richard have? Consumer retail. Yes, consumer retail, shoes, consumer retail. What about chips? What about chips? Didn't Texas Instrument get upgraded? Whatever happened to that? We got tariff. So here's what I've got right here. See if you guys could see them right there. Right there. Can you see them? Tariffs, Tesla. What's this one here? Military, defense, military, same shit. Excuse my French. Shoes, discretionary. Richard had it right. I think Richard had everything right except for networking and chips, tech and chips. So let's see. Hopium, I don't know. Some people watch on the phone. They don't even know where the thumbs up. Some people don't give thumbs up. It's just, some people don't like me. What can I tell you? But if you don't mind, it's right here. Thumbs up. It doesn't cost anything. But anyways, I was looking at thumbs up. We get like 50% thumbs up, which is like insane. Carlos, Rick, good morning. Let's see, Bob, are they way down and search engine? Are we at the top? I guess so. I guess so. What's wrong with the other 50? I don't know. They don't like me, Hopium. So here's what my catalysts are. Tariffs, tariff talk, the Tesla, FOMC Kayla is not till tomorrow's trading session. It has to be something that's intervening immediately. Intervening means market's about to trade based on it, not what's happening next year, tomorrow, or what's happening right now that the market's going to digest. Tariffs, Tesla, military defense, shoes, consumer discretionary, chip stock, Texas Instrument, and Cisco networking stocks. Roger, I didn't know Cisco was a big stock. Cisco was one of the biggest stocks in the 90s, Oracle and Cisco. Anybody who traded back then would know. You guys remember Oracle and Cisco back in the 90s, mid 90s? Ay, ay, ay. David says, we appreciate the money you make us and the money you save us. You earn thumbs up and you deserve it. Thank you, David. I appreciate it. That's nice of you. Very, very nice of you. Nice of you. All right. So let me just repost this here. All right. So we got all the catalysts, and you guys understand why chips are a catalyst. If you don't, here's why chips are a catalyst. Yes, Texas Instrument is a major, major stock. Why is Cisco catalyst? Well, take a look. XLK, right? Let's look how much Cisco makes up. If folks have been doing this for a while, you know that Cisco's a catalyst. But for those of you who are new, if you're old school, you know that Cisco's a catalyst. But if you're new school, you may not know that yet. Look, Palantir, Cisco, 2.6%. Big, 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 big part of XLK. And Oracle and Cisco, networking stocks, networking. All now, PanW, all of these stocks are impacted by Cisco. Okay. So Cisco is definitely a catalyst for technology stocks. Oracle, Cisco, Micron. That's right, Carlos. He got it. He got it. That was nice. Carlos, anybody who bought Micron in the 90s appreciates a stock making a comeback because that stock was clobbered in the 90s more than anything I know. Okay. Yes, still very, very important. Yes, exactly, Kevin. You're absolutely right. Boy, you guys are smart. I got some smart people here. Okay, here's the link for the VIP room. We have a lot more people here now, so let me just give the CTA again. In case you're curious what I'm going to be teaching you today in the VIP room, here's the agenda. What is anchored VWAP? How do institutions use anchored VWAPs? Where to anchor your VWAP? How to trade pullbacks and pinches. And I'll give you 3 VWAP stocks. How about that? Thank you, Hopiumatic. Not bad, right? Is anybody going to tell me that's a bad agenda for the VIP room today? Anchored VWAPs, how do institutions use anchored VWAPs, the story behind anchored VWAPs, where to anchor your VWAP, how to trade pullbacks and pinches. And if you guys need clarity on anything, who the hell? My dogs are going crazy again. Sorry about that. Let me give you Customer Service Live, Cam and Gustavo show link. So glad you guys can't hear them. And I'll tell you the story about Ken Griffith, okay? And I'll tell you a story about a famous hedge fund guy and how he uses all this stuff, okay? And I'll show you how institutions use these catalysts. 1 second, let me see what's going on out there. Weird. I don't see any cars or anything. Sorry, if you guys hear my dogs, I apologize from the bottom of my heart. They're very, very loud and I can hardly hear myself talk. Yeah, beautiful, Bob. Oh, there they go. They stopped. Okay. So now that we've gone through the catalysts, now that we've gone through the commodities, now that we've gone through the major events for the week, now that we're starting to get a reasonably good focus on the stock market, on the commodity market and the overall market and what's really driving the bus today, now we're going to get into stocks, okay? All right. So just want you to understand how we do that. I know you guys can't hear them, but I could hear them so bad that I could barely hear myself talk, which is really, really irritating. But my mic is really good. So, and my door, I have soundproof door. That door is like a $2,000, like $1,000 or $2,000 door. It's a soundproof door. But I could hear. My ears can hear it. All right. So first things first. Consumer discretionary stocks. I wanted to show you this. I wanted to start off with this. Why are you going to be very, very cautious with consumer discretionary stocks? Consumer discretionary stocks are not necessarily tech stocks. Okay. There's a, folks, this is really important what we're talking about right now. I know a lot of times I kind of gloss over something, and then a lot of time I spend too much time on something. This is really important. Let me explain why. Amazon, Nike, all the retail shops, pretty much all the retail stores are consumer discretionary. Now, if we have 100 people in a room and I ask them, is Amazon and Apple consumer discretionary or technology? We're going to have a fight because the truth of the matter is they're both, right? They're perfectly, I can make the most amazing case. I can make the most amazing case. It will be an amazing show today, Peanuts. I promise I'll make it an amazing show. I'm really well rested. My wife's not going to be here today to communicate. I'm very focused. When my wife is not here, I just focus on the market like 100% because I have nothing else to focus on. She takes the big dogs and she puts them with a gal here, so I don't even have to deal with the big dogs. So all I'm dealing with is the cats and the two little barkers, and that's it. So I get to focus on you guys for the next 3 days. She's not going to be back till Wednesday afternoon. So I'm it's now a lot of guys when their wives go out, they go do crazy things, but I just trade more and I just focus more on you guys. That's all I really have in my life. I don't really have a very my kids are older, you know. So it's my mafia movies and you guys, and that's pretty much it. And Clyde. So my point here is this: if we argue about is consumer discretionary technology or not, we're going to be here for a very long time. The more we get, the further technology gets, the more technology is going to become consumer discretionary. Because think about it, 10 years ago, if I used the word robot, you would say that's technology. If I use the word robot now, you're like, well, robots are there to help me and get stuff done. And so robots are becoming consumer discretionary too. So the more advanced technology gets, the more it becomes an end service product. So consumer discretionary really does fit all of it. And if you look at this sector, I know I'm spending a lot of time on this, but there's a reason for it, and you'll see in a second. This is consumer discretionary. Look at the stocks that make up this sector, okay? I guess it's the neighbors. They're building a house. She hasn't graduated yet. She's going to be graduating in she's going to be graduating in December, but her lease expires now, so she's moving out. She had a house she was sharing with 8 other girls or 6 other girls, and most of them graduated right now, but she doesn't graduate till December. So she and another girl are moving to a an apartment for the next 6 months till she graduates. Hopefully that makes some sense, Bob. So my wife has to pack her from the house to the apartment with her friend. So this is what I'm trying. This is what I was trying to say about consumer discretionary. You got a lot of stuff here. You got a lot of stuff, and remember, consumer discretionary: Tesla, Amazon, Home Depot, McDonald's, TJ Maxx. A lot of these are coming out with earnings this week. A lot of stocks are coming out with earnings this week, and again, also consumer discretionary has a huge impact on other like Tesla and Amazon. That's a lot of technology right there. So 24% Amazon, this sector. Now, do you understand why I'm showing you this sector? Do you understand why I'm showing you this sector right now? You guys do understand, right? Yeah, Bob. Yeah, I mean it is a big school. It's a great school. I loved it. I toured it when she first came in, and it was like bulls everywhere. I got a hat with the bull and all that. I loved it. Anyways, I wanted to show you this. Now, this is a long-term graph. This doesn't necessarily mean what it's going to do today. But with that said, in the last 10 years, in the last decade, one, two, three, four, five, six, seven, eight, 9 times, we've been above this level. Okay. So all of these stocks are going to be reporting, all of these stocks, these consumer discretionary stocks are going to be reporting this week. And I wanted you to see where we are. Now, I know a lot of you are gamblers, but do you really want to make this bet? Do you want to make this bet that consumer discretionary is going to go much higher? Do you and I want you to understand why. This is a 10-year back test, okay? This is a 10-year back test. How and I specifically marked this red bar at the top of today's channel so you could specifically see how often we go above here. Do you want to make this bet? Would you bet that we're going to come back here or would you bet that we're going to come up here? The odds are overwhelming that we're going to come back here. As you could see that we've only been here nine times in the last 10 years. So you guys see where we are at the range. Now you can argue with me and you could say, well, Roger, I personally think we're going to go up. You may be right. I mean, I'm not going to predict the future, but do you think this is a great opportunity to buy consumer stocks at this level? Don't you think it would be safer for us to buy consumer stocks closer to this level? Now, what if I told you that consumer discretionary is correlated to technology about 70%? Do you think this is a good time to start buying stocks right now? That's very good. My daughter's also taking criminal justice because she's going to go to law school. So she's taking criminal justice too. I bet you they're in some of the same classes, Bob. About once every year, plus it breaks that level. Yeah, maybe, but let's say it goes up here. Okay, fine. We're not in a position where tech is going to run away with the circus. Also, I hate to say this, but if you look at Amazon right now, and again, I'm just trying to connect the dots for you. My job is not to tell you what to do in this morning show; it's to get you to think. Now, look where how long Amazon has been running away, and look where the previous top is, and look where we're at right now. Can't seem to make this line go higher. Let's see if we can go on a weekly. There we go. See how there's a top here and there's a top right here? So look, do you see where this is right here? And do you see where this is right here? Again, my job is to show you everything that's humanly relevant for you guys to start analyzing things yourself. It's not to see if I tell you don't buy Amazon, you're going to buy Amazon. But if I show you why I'm not buying Amazon or why I think Amazon may be a little overbought, then I have a chance of you actually listening to a word that I say. Do you understand why? So if I tell you I think Amazon's a little overbought or overextended right now, are you going to argue with me? Probably not. Okay. Because you can understand what I'm looking at. I don't want to buy consumer discretionary stocks up here. I want to buy them down here. Okay. Okay. Yeah, this is a soundproof door. Look at it's got four hinges. It's about this thick and it's completely solid. And then I have sound pads throughout the whole room. That's why this mic sounds so good here. It's a soundproof room, no echo. Uh, okay, so I'm really nervous about consumer discretionary stocks right now. Okay, very, very nervous about. Now, does that mean we can't go a little higher? Yeah, we can, but I'm just very, very nervous about this level. Now, what else is making me nervous? You guys know I'm not going to just play a one-time thing. What else is making me nervous? The fact that volatility is making swing lows, and we haven't been this low in a long, long time. And we all know that volatility is mean reverting. Mean reverting. Notice every time we come down here, we come back up. It's time for us to start coming back up a little bit. Volatility is getting to a point where it's really, really low right now. Really, really low. That's bothering me. What else is bothering me? Let me show you what else is bothering me. We're getting a little too ahead of the 8-day EMA. What happens when we get ahead of the 8-day EMA? Look, we come back. We come back. Guess what? We're going to come back. Does this mean we're going to crash? No, no, I didn't say that. I'm just saying that we're a little overbought right now. We're a little overextended and it's a Monday. Okay. What about equal weighted SPY? QQQ. How does that look? Not as bad. Not as bad. This one doesn't look as bad. Let's look at mega caps. Let's see what the culprit is. Aha. Now we know what the culprit is. The mega caps. A little too far. It's got to come back down. Look, every time we get away from the 8-day, what happens a few days later? We come down. We need to make friends with the 8-day EMA. Okay? We need, that's right, probability, not predictability. Yeah, it's okay to hold runners. Nothing wrong with being long here. I'm just showing you what we're up against. And by the way, remember, this is a monthly chart. This isn't telling us it's going to happen today. It's just giving us the overall structure. It's important for you to know where we are at before you know where you're going. You got to know where your spot is. You got to know where you're starting from. It's a very good chance it could just come up here for the next couple of weeks too. But I'm showing you right now that this is not a time to take a starter position. This is a good time to hold a runner, not to get a starter position in consumer discretionary. Okay. So, and again, look how overextended all these stocks, all these indexes are in the short term. In the short term, this is way too far away from the 8-day. Let's look at SPY. It's too far away from the 8-day. We haven't hit the 8-day in 1, 2, 3, 4 days, like since last Tuesday. Too much of a run. Needs to cool off. Needs to cool off. Needs to cool off a little bit. You guys understand what I'm saying? We're getting ahead of ourselves. That rubber band is getting a little too far ahead of itself. Okay. Am I suggesting we're going to go down to the 50-day line? All I'm saying is we need to cool off a little bit before going higher if we're going to go higher. And that's a big if. With all of these earnings and all this Fed data, there's a lot of uncertainty. It depends on what you're doing, Raj. Depends on what you're trading. On blue chip stocks, not as much. Let's look at the Dow. On small cap stocks, no. Small cap stocks, because of interest rates, are oversold right now. Just depends on the stock. The Dow's not overdone. Look, this doesn't look like it. This touched the 8-day moving average on Friday. This isn't overbought. The Dow's not overbought. Remember, I told you last week I'm starting to get a little jittery on. Oh, 1 second. 1 second. Sorry about that. My wife is just bitching about rental cars. All right. So once again, this isn't overextended. Now let's look at sectors. And I told you this about a week ago, maybe a little more. I showed you when we were looking at sectors. I said, folks, technology. Look where technology is right now. Semiconductor, Bitcoin technology, QQQ. Okay. Where's the 8-day EMA? This red line right here. I have it on every one of my charts. Red line right here. This is the 15 and this is the 8. Okay. Okay. Where was I? Oh, yeah. So if you remember, let's go back 2 weeks. 2 weeks ago, actually, it was more like 3 weeks ago. Yeah, you had consumer stocks, more consumer stocks here. Time gets away from me. They were kind of mixed all over the place. And another week ago, about a month earlier, they were at the top. I remember they were at the top. But now, today, look where all of them are. QQQ, technology, Bitcoin, semiconductors. Look what's moving the market right now. Blue chips, blue chips, blue chips, blue chips, blue chips. Okay. The market cap isn't in hard tech right now ahead of earnings. And you got Amazon making a very swing high right here. And you have momentum levels are a little overbought. Again, I can't make you drink the water. I could just show you all the things. Let's look at SMH. How does SMH looking? Chips, not overextended. Not overextended. So to me, it looks like the sectors that are really overextended are the consumer discretionary non-tech. Consumer discretionary, soft tech, not hard tech, soft tech, which means we're going to have to watch the market very, very carefully today. Folks, if you haven't given us a thumbs up, please do. I would appreciate it. Just one time. Here's my volatility earnings reports. I'll give it to you right now, Jacqueline. Here's the link. I'm also going to post it in YouTube right now, okay? I mean, Telegram right now. Here. One second. Here. And I'll post it in the other channel too. This way you guys have it in both of the channels, okay? You don't need it in Trading Zone, but you need it in the other two channels. Okay. Now I'll put it in Trading Zone too. Why not? There you go. Now you have it everywhere, okay? Wow, Bob, we're making progress, and it's still like the dead of summer. We got 650 people here in the dead of summer. That's pretty good. Folks, don't forget Customer Service Live, Can and Gustavo Show. These folks are your best friends when you need to put something together or help with anything. And remember, I have a pristine agenda today in the VIP room. We're going to be talking about anchored VWAPs, how to put together anchored VWAPs, the best stocks for anchored VWAPs, why institutions use anchored VWAPs, where they use anchored VWAPs. I don't know if snow is good or bad today, William. I don't know. I don't know. I haven't really looked at it. So, but we do have a lot of earnings. We have a lot of uh, non-congruity in this market. We have things that are all over the place, and you have small caps that are basically flat right now. Look where they are at right now compared to the high, right? And look where SPY is right now compared to the high. Too much of a divergence. Too much of a divergence. Way too much of a divergence. See, look where the SPY is and look where the Russell is. Interest rates. Foreign stocks or small cap stocks are much easier for them to get hit by tariffs and all that stuff, the uncertainty. So we need to get this above 230, 235. And again, I'm very nervous about the fact that we only have 54% of stocks trading above the 200-day moving average. And I'm nervous about, where was it here? Consumer discretionary being at 84th spot. Very, very, very overbought. Very, very overbought. Okay. All right. And I think industrial started coming off already. Hold on a second. Let's see. I think industrial already made a high and is coming off right now. Let's see. Yep. Remember we had the same thing with industrial stocks? And I told you about it when I talked about communication stocks. We're already starting to come off on them. Couldn't break through this level. Yeah, that was in May of this year. We're now in July, right there. Okay, just wanted to show you that. Uh, all right, let's talk about the market. Let's break things down, and then we'll get into the stocks that I'm looking at. Pointing to a higher open on Wall Street, President Trump reached a preliminary, some kind of a negotiation with union. Nothing has been signed yet, obviously. They announced agreement on his golf course. Why not? Imposed 15%. He originally said 30%, but now it's 50. Originally he said 10, then he said 30, then now it's 15, including automobiles. They'll take effect August 1st. And from what I understand, we're waiting to see for 90 or 100 other countries, like he said, to be ready on August 1st, although I don't think that's going to happen. Trump said tariffs on steel would currently be at 50%, which is kind of high. I think that's going to come off. Everybody's looking ahead to earnings and GDP. That's where the market action is right now. Decker, which is not a tech stock, surged 11% gain. Newmont, I told you Newmont was on my watch list last week, by the way, climbed 6%. CNC was a time spread we did that we made money on. Charter, communication stock, was the worst stock on Friday, not good. Durable good orders were not that great, better than expectations, but still not that great. We have earnings like there's no tomorrow on stocks right now. I mean, this week, including Apple, Amazon, Meta, we are going to be trading a lot less and going to be very, very selective this week. Why, Roger? Because of all these earnings. We have to be extra because these earnings can sucker us in if we have a related stock. So we have to be really, really, really careful because earnings news is a binary event, and we don't want to get caught up in a binary event. Why do you think last week? Why do you think last week? Here, let me show you this. Why do you think last week there was um, where is it? SPY and SPY. 2 days, once a spread and once a directional, because it's difficult to trade individual stocks directionally during earnings. We had two SPY trades, official or non, one official, one unofficial. Actually, they were both officials, I think, in the pit last week. I usually don't do SPY in the pit. We usually do them, but these were because I needed an asset that would take advantage of the entire market. Individual stocks are very, very, very. I tend to do more ETFs, more non-directional trades, time spreads. It's a very dangerous time to trade right now. Very dangerous time to trade right now. And I think most of you know that. Powell and Fed officials emphasized the importance of patience. Patience. Top tier economic data will give us insight on whether the Fed may be justifying its lower interest rates. They're not going to be lowering rates in the coming months. They're going to be leaving rates alone because so far all economic data is looking peachy. The advanced estimates of second quarter domestic product, July non-farm payroll report, core personal consumption. We'll go through all of this as it's coming. We don't need to be doing this right now. We don't have anything today worth talking about. Again, we have the August 1st deadline for multiple countries before the deadline. I have not heard that many countries, but again, I've totally checked out of that. I'm not following anything that the White House is doing. I know that there's all this what's his last name? That the pedophile. I don't follow that stuff. I don't follow that stuff. Doesn't do anything for the market. I did. I gave the small stock picks for the day above with a hand wave. Thank you, Naples fan. I appreciate you doing that. Very kind of you. Okay, so Europe is up, giving us some tailwind. Chip stocks, auto stocks, pharmaceutical stocks. That's great. That's great. China closed slightly higher, giving us a little tailwinds. Rare earth stocks also gain grounds. They've been doing really good lately. Again, this is not tech stocks. Stocks closed lower, continue to take profit. U.S. bank technology stocks led the decline. Okay, Concerned that Japan's weekend government could give the opposition demand. We'll see how that goes. Tesla is a catalyst. Trump announced trade announcement. Because of Europe. This is because of Europe. Entered $1 billion with Samsung. Very, very good. Um, Defense stocks, military stocks. Palantir, by the way, could get caught up in this too, by the way. Vast money military equipment. Palantir could be part of this too. Palantir is a military. LMT, RTX, possibly. Nike, over 3%. They were upgraded. This is consumer discretionary. Tesla's consumer discretionary. Nike's consumer discretionary. This is looking very good for consumer discretionary. Chip stocks are looking good this morning, but Cisco is not. That's a networking. That's XLK, not chips. Okay. Epstein. Yeah, Jeffrey Epstein. Yeah, I'm not. I don't follow that nonsense. Just nonsense. Uh, Only if it impacts the market. If it doesn't impact the market, I couldn't care less. Now, let me give you stocks that I'm looking at today. And let's take a quick look at the market to see what the market's doing right now. The market's actually it was coming off all morning, and now it's starting to come back up. It's above the VWAP. We filled about half of the gap, the overnight gap, but we're above the VWAP right now. If you look at the QQQ, same thing, just tracking each other. SMH is showing some weakness today. Dow Jones is doing exactly the same thing as the rest of the market, but the Dow filled the gap. The Dow already filled the gap, and this is not overextended. Where QQQ, look how overextended QQQ is. Look at the distance between the 8-day and this. That's overextended. This thing needs to come back down over here. I'm expecting QQQ to come down. I'm expecting the SPY to come down to the 8-day EMA. Look how overextended this is. SMH is not overextended. So I'm looking at potential sell-off in non-hard tech, like consumer discretionary maybe. All right. But technology is looking pretty good right now. Mags. Mags are a little overextended. And by the way, the mags could not get above the look at SPY. Look at QQQ and look at mags. And look at mags. Similar price action. Overextended, needs to come down to the 8-day. We haven't been at the 8-day in quite some time. We need to come down to the 8-day. Boyd says if Powell were smart, he would drop the funds rate at a full point. It would not impact T-bill mortgage so large. Boyd, how many times? I don't know if you understand basic economics. It's going to cause inflation. It's going to cause inflation. I don't understand how you don't understand that. And by the way, our president is making the debt larger by his government, by the latest government act. He's increasing our debt, not decreasing it. Too late for Trump to focus on spending. He just increased. That's what thank you, Sylvia. I just said the same thing. Yeah, I mean, I think that's what Musk was trying to do, decrease government spending, but our president just increased the government spending. Hence Musk and him got into a beef. No, we don't need that, Boyd. Please stop giving us. We don't want inflation to spike out of control. The Fed is doing this so inflation doesn't get out of control. We've tried to explain that to you here like 50 different ways. Please stop thinking that our president knows more about the economy than the Fed. We all know that's not the case. Okay. All right. Let me give you stocks that I like. And I'm trying to leave politics out of this. Okay. So SRPT. Short list. Remember, I keep giving you the stock over and over and over again. Neither, Ruth. I didn't tell you that. I don't give clear answers like that, Ruth. If you're looking for a clear answer like that, you need to join an alert service. The reason for this is for me to get inside your head and to analyze the market and to get you to start thinking, not for you, and hopefully to confuse you a little more, because that's the only confusion that will get you to see clarity later on. Yeah. Yeah, I mean, please, we're maxed out. Government doesn't have any money. We can't do that. Chewy needs to break the 200-day moving average. CB. Everybody's got an idea. CB. EXE. This is my short list, and I'm not all that bearish right now. And here's an A line to the downside, which I actually like. I haven't had an A line to the downside in a long time. This thing needs to break 151.08. Let me set an alert on it real quick. ZT this. All right. There you go. You could see me doing it in real time. See, I practice what I preach. I actually am one of the few people who actually does exactly what he says. Now let's look to the long side. You want me to look at MLM? Yeah, I'll take a quick look at MLM real quick, real quick. A little overextended. Needs to pull back to the 8-day EMA, but not bad at all. EL. All right, now let me look at my stocks. EL. Nice breakout here, not overextended. AMD, probably way overextended if I had to guess. Let's take a look. Yeah, just like your MLM needs to come back down to the 8-day EMA. See, they're getting a little over ahead of themselves right now. By the way, let me take a look and see what Nvidia is doing right now. Oh, okay. It's up nicely too. Good. All right, let's continue. JP Morgan. It's got a nice trend going on. Schwab. Remember, only one till customer. These are both financials. XYZ. I gave the small cap. Somebody can give you the small cap. Remember, this stock is going into the S&P 500. There's still some flow here. MDT. What subject, Brian? What are we talking about? I already gave the small caps. Somebody here can give them to you. Let me worry about the long caps, the big caps. MDT, MDT, ANET. First time you're ever seeing the stock on my list, right? Wrong. DKNG. It's time for DraftKings to get back in line. Yep, there's. Thank you, Naples fan. Which one was it? You want me to look at PLNT? I'll take a look at I'm not that bad on time today. I'm all right, actually. It's not looking bad. It's a grinder. It's very choppy. I would not day trade this stock, but I wouldn't hesitate to take a swing trade with like a 3 to 4 week option. Look how choppy it is. Look how many wicks it has. You don't want to day trade. This is not an active stock. This is more of those stocks that buy when it hits that 15-day EMA and sell when it gets 1.5 deviated. All right, but it's not a bad stock. I'm glad you guys are picking good stocks for me to look at. GE. I like GE. These are all longs, yes. The last short was ZTS. GE I like. Let me take a quick look at GEV just in case. This one's getting a bit overextended. Needs to come back, but this one is not. This one still looks okay. This one's a little better. What is this? Gerald says, so many speaking in Donald Trump's favor on the internet. I haven't the clue. So throw my Tom Turf cap. There you go. Volume is very low. Yes. Yes. GE, JCI. And remember, folks, we are in the dead of summer. I mean, I don't have to remind you, August is what, 2-3 days away? This is a beautiful stock that I've given you, I don't know how many times on my watch list. It just keeps doing the same thing. Dash. Notice the DKNG and DoorDash. I find that DoorDash and DraftKings, they don't seem to, they're not related, but for some reason they like to move at the same time. I'm always getting signals on DoorDash and DraftKings at the same time. I don't know why. Maybe it's a coincidence. It's looking good. I would prefer for it to come back down a little bit. We do have a directional bias right now in the market. Um, Tech is not leading right now. Tech is not leading. Blue chips are leading right now. So be cautious with technology stocks. Folks, I know that a lot of times I'm not that aggressive. It's because we have a lot of stuff ahead of us. The worst thing I want to do is be stuck in a stock for 4 days or 5 days or 6 days and then see it make money. Because a lot of you guys buy options and the option will decay. Basically, I don't want to get stuck like I got stuck in Palantir. I know we made a lot of money on Palantir last Friday, but we had to sit through it the whole week. I prefer not to do that. So excuse me if I'm not going to be active today or very active, or if I just give you bonus trades today. My job is to help you make money. My job is to help you make money. Mondays are typically, I do like Monday swing trades going into Tuesday. I'm not big on Monday day trades. I'm going to be very cautious today. I'm only going to give you a trade if it's an A plus trade. I'm not going to give you anything besides that, which I typically never do. We are starting to get a little more aggressive in our regular swing trade programs like A-Line and Quick Strike because markets are starting to trend right now. Here, you could see what I'm talking about. 122 stocks making 52-week highs, 130 stocks making 50-day highs, 90-day highs at 250. So there's momentum. But we got to be careful right now because as you could see in the last 5 days, momentum is not going towards technology. And a lot of you automatically go towards technology. And also, when I show you technology right here, look at how far we are from the 8-day EMA. That's distance right there. That's not good. Look at SPY. Look at how far we are from the 8-day ahead. We're way overextended. It's a Monday. We're overextended. We have a lot of Fed data coming up. We have a lot of stock data coming up. We have consumer discretionary sector that's overextended. We have industrial that's overextended. It's coming down. I think we're going to have some sector rotations. I know I'm not giving you any exact answers, but you guys understand we're in a more vulnerable situation right now than we've been in a few weeks. We've been doing pretty good last few weeks. We've been having all winners in the pit all last 3 weeks since I got back from Europe. We got to be a little more cautious right now. Okay. Now, today in the VIP room today, here's the link. I am going to be talking about, let me just tell you real quick. I'm going to be talking about what is an anchored VWAP, why institutions are obsessed with anchored VWAPs, where to anchor your VWAP, why I have a theory about the 8-day EMA being a VWAP. I just don't know which one they're using, and how to trade pullbacks and pinches using VWAPs. So it's going to be extremely valuable for you guys to come to the weekend show, and I'll give you 3 VWAP stocks. How about that? So don't miss out. Please, please join us. And also, please, please, please come to the Cam and Gustavo show from 10 to 1 p.m. And if you're lucky, you'll see Jax too. Good day to sit on my hands and see what develops. I would be watching price action starting to come to closer to the 8-day and maybe a rotation back into technology. One thing I will tell you, look, consumer discretionary is where it's right here. Everything speculative is on the lower end of the scale. Look, semiconductors, Bitcoin, technology, QQQ, Russell 2000, consumer discretionary communication. Notice it's all here. Look what's up here. Material, industrial, real estate, financial, healthcare. So this is where the money's coming into this right now, not here. And this is what's reporting. So I'm very, very curious if this is going to get a Death Star, basically a more downside, or if this is going to start reverting. And I think we're going to start getting an answer towards that towards the end of today's session. Okay? All right. All right, folks, we've been constantly getting above 600 people here. in the middle of the summer, which is fantastic. I wish Dr. Serena was here to see this. Hopefully, she'll come back sooner than later. Uh, right now, as the way things are looking, look at how things are looking pre-open. You've got communication, which is a tech stock, being down 2%, and look at blue chips. So let's be really cautious today till we know where we stand. I don't know where we stand right now. Okay. I don't know where we stand right now. I'm nervous about the market. I'm a little too deviated from the 8-day EMA, and I'm nervous. I'll talk to you guys later. Have a fantastic day. Don't forget the noon session. It's going to be mind-blowing, and I apologize my appearance. It'll be next Wednesday when I get my haircut. Please don't make fun of me, okay? Bye, everybody. Have a great day. Please be careful today. Don't go hot and heavy this morning. This is not that time, okay? Bye, guys. Good luck, everybody, today. Make some money. Bye. And my email is roger@rogerscott.com. Thank you, Coach Rubin. I appreciate you.